So, so today here we have Scott Anthony, and Scott and I started working together quite some time back. When was it? When
It
did we
was,
start working together? Had to be like
I think it was around December time last year.
December. So yeah,
Yeah, 2019.
yeah. So me and Scott been working together for quite some time, about 9, 10 months at this point. And basically in that time frame, Scott was able to learn a lot of information from me. At that time, I was still doing one-on-one. And Scott been working with me for quite some time. So throughout those months, and then ended up leading him to making sales. So yeah, so we're gonna just go ahead and dive straight into this interview with Scott. So Scott, I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself and just talk a little bit about yourself, the art you create, and things like that. Then we're gonna get started.
Okay. My name's Scott. I go by the name Scott Anthony Artwork, mainly on Facebook, but I'm on Instagram as well. I do mostly sort of science fiction, fantasy art, a little bit of comic book stuff as well, specializing mainly in Star Wars. I'm a big Star Wars fan, so that's what inspires me to create artwork. And I just started drawing for fun, really, and then people started saying, how much for this? Can I buy this? Can you draw me this? And from then I realized I could sell things, and then I got in touch with Jaroid, who's helped me to just make it into more of a professional thing, really.
Yeah, yeah, I still remember that. That was back when I had the group, and then you were just a part of that group, and then reached out to me, and we started working together from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So getting into it before we got started working together, how were things going at that point for your art career?
Like I say, it was just like the odd. I mean, I'd post things up on Facebook just to show what I'd done, really, and people would ask if they could buy them, and I'd say yeah, sure, and I'd sell things. And I'd pick up the odd commission here and there. Probably only like a couple of things a month, really. Only sort of bringing in, I don't know, it's sort of $200 a month, something like that. It was just little bits of pocket
Yeah.
money, really.
So from there, when it came to getting started with me, what was that like for you? Like us having that first phone call and you making that decision to get started with me.
Yeah, I remember you ringing me, and I was a bit like, oh, what's this guy want to ring me for? What does he want? I thought you were going to try and sell me something. What's he after here? And you told me all about yourself, the story that you tell all the time whenever you're introducing yourself. Um, and I was like, okay, yeah, I don't know if it's true, or should I trust him or whatever. For it, and the thing that sold it to me really was that you were putting things on Facebook, and you were putting up little tips, things to do in order to increase your audience and increase your sales and things like that on Facebook. I thought, well, I'll try these, and if these work, then I know he's talking sense, he knows what he's doing. And I tried a few of your sort of free tips that you were putting on, and they just got results straight away. So I knew that you knew what you were talking about. I tried, and we went for it. We did it.
Yeah. And that's when you end up getting started.
Yeah.
So so once we started working together, let's talk about now that we're working together, that first week working with me. How was that? Just learning that information.
Um, I remember the very first call we did when we first started working together. We were on the phone for about an hour. You were telling me to, um, how I should arrange my page, my personal profile on Facebook, and the kind of things to write when I'm posting. We did a lot in that first hour, and you advised me on how to talk to people when we're discussing commissions, in order to win that commission. And there was literally, like, I was on the phone to you, and there was somebody sending me messages about a commission at the same time. So I got off the phone from you, or I'm going to try this, what he just said, and I tried it and worked it, and won a commission, within minutes of getting off our first call together. Just give me a minute, Leah. Just talking to my friend. Yeah. It's my son just came.
No, you're fine. You're fine. And yeah, I literally remember that. I remember it's like, and yes, when you made that first sale, and then everything just started piling up afterwards. And at that time, it was, I would say it was a bit harder to have that success because it was pretty different from what the artists I have now going.
Say again,
So
sorry.
no, you're fine. You're fine. So I was just saying at that time we started working together, it was pretty different because you literally just had to take a ton of notes on a
Yeah,
call over the phone and just hopefully you catch everything and then start applying it
yeah, yeah.
versus
I've got about 3 little notebooks just full of stuff that we and we had like 4 calls, didn't we, that first month? So sort of four
yeah,
hours worth, and I wrote down pretty much everything that you said, and then I spent because I worked with you in the December, and then January, February, March, I worked with you again in the April, didn't I? So for those 3 months, I was putting into practice everything that you'd said and looking in my notes and making it
yeah,
work. And I was like, okay, this works. Let's do it
yeah.
again.
It's pretty interesting.
And
So tell me, what'd you say?
I was gonna say, yeah. So it was, it worked so well the first time we did it. The second time, and it was slightly different the second time because it was in the group that you'd set up
Yeah,
on Facebook. So there was other artists involved, and we were sort of trading notes and comparing notes and things like that.
yeah.
So that was good. It was a different experience, but it was equally as worthwhile, I think.
Yeah, because when they're transitioning to the group. So at that time, you started making sales a bit more consistently. So looking at it just from an art career perspective, how was things at that point when you seeing like, oh wow, I'm really started making some sales?
It was good. I mean, like I say, like to start with, I was just probably making like a couple of $100 here and there, a couple of things a month. And that suddenly turned into a couple of things a week, and it was 3 or 4 things a week, or 4 or 5 things. And there's been weeks since, so we worked together in April, where I've been doing, just spending the whole day just doing prints and getting things ready to post off and organizing things, and um, just sales wise, it's phenomenal, really. I very rarely make less than 1,000 now,
Yeah,
whereas regularly, I mean, through lockdown, it's been 3,000 on average,
yeah,
I'd say, a month,
yeah,
which is massive compared to what it was at the start of the year.
yeah. Especially when you was getting started before we was working together, you say you was done about 200. I'm going from $200 to 3,000 a month, that's a pretty big jump in a short period of time.
Yeah, in half a year, really, 6 months.
Yeah,
All it took.
yeah. So let me ask you this. So learning from me, what would you say was the hardest thing to overcome? I'm just like,
It's the it, yeah, it's like the having to be a personality sort of thing. It's having to,
yeah,
you don't just sell your art, you sell the artist. So it's having to become that artist. That, I mean, so it's still me. It's a part of me, but it's having to sort of amplify that part of my personality when I'm in a chat, or if I'm making a video, or if I'm writing a post or something like that. That's been, but it's been good. It's
yeah.
difficult, but enjoyable. Yeah,
So yeah, that's one thing I always talk about. That's what a lot of people struggle with. And now it's identified as the why, but at that time it was just more like just identifying yourself and selling yourself as well as while you're selling that artwork.
yeah, yeah. But that's a key
Yeah,
part, that you taught me, and it really is true that you need to do that.
yeah. And and let's talk about now when it comes to just learning from it. What you say was probably your favorite part? Like after learning that, you just instantly like I guess you could say loved it. What was your favorite part?
I mean, it's the I know it's one of your favorite parts of it. It's the conversation that you get
Yeah,
into when people
the
go,
script and the spelling.
the first message is like, how much is this? And you're like, I'm not going to answer that. I'm going to get in the conversation. And it's getting them, and we become friends with them for that sort of 10-15 minutes. You're having a conversation, and you like become their best friend and stack. And just you get up to that stage where it's like, okay, here's the stack. Yeah, just get a buzz when I'm doing that. And 9 times out of 10 it works.
Yeah. And then at
Yeah.
that point, you just end up paying.
Yeah, and then they go,
Yeah.
watch your paper. And you're like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, that's literally my favorite part. Because one thing I always tell the artists that I work with now is that you can do everything right, but once you get to the actual end, the finish line, if you don't actually cross that finish line and close that sale, then everything you've done before that becomes almost irrelevant, you know? So
Yeah,
you
totally.
already know I love the selling process. It's going through the script and actually closing the sales. So yeah, and that's actually the
Mm.
same for a lot of the artists I work with. They just because I guess when it just gets to the end and they so used to people saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna think about it. I'm not gonna purchase," and then they just say like, "Yeah, I'm gonna purchase with your PayPal." I guess it's
Yeah,
just a game changer, you know?
yeah, I love that.
So now I want to ask, so you've been, so before working together, you was doing a couple, you was doing like $200 a month, you know, here or there, no consistency. And now you've been averaging about 3,000 per month, going
Yeah.
from $200 to 3,000 per month. Now going into 2021, if you had to put a goal for how much you'd like to be making at that point, what would that goal be?
5,000 a month. It'd be good. It'd be good. I remember that very first conversation when, when we first sort of met over the phone, and you said, "Oh, I could make you 5,000 a month." I was like,
Yeah.
right. But now I'm like, yeah, we could do that. We could do that. So it's building and building and building. It's a bit, with all this COVID thing, it's up and down, but hopefully when it levels out, it's all set up now just to take it to the next level, I think.
Yeah. So the goal now is to get to that number of 5,000 per month. I think that's a really
Hmm.
good goal. And you, without a doubt, I already
Oh,
know
well,
you're going to end up probably hitting it even before the next month even get here.
yeah. I didn't have when I first did 1,000 a month. I was like, wow, 1,000 a month. And I was like, what if I could do two? And the next month it was three. I was like, it's gone from one to three, so 3 to 5. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, that'll be the goal. That'll be the goal.
That's the goal.
So now, in your position, being someone who, like many artists out there, starting off not making really any sales and not even believing it's possible to make it an actual career, and now averaging $3,000 per month, and now going after a number like $5,000 per month. What advice would you give to just other artists out there that was in your position when you was first trying to figure things out?
Um, I think you've got to just keep doing it, just keep doing it, and keep doing it, and keep doing it. And the more you do it, when I say it, I mean the script, the way you taught me to do it. I just keep doing it, and refining it and trying different things. And certain things will work better, certain things will work worse. But always it's got to be that technique that you taught me, and just keep doing that, and posting the way you told me to post, having the conversations the way you told me to have the conversations.
Yeah,
And it like I say, most of the time it works.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
always just refining it now as well, and just keep going with it and finding I'm looking for the perfect way to do it.
right. And for those, let's say, who not work with me, so just regular artists that are out there, what would be your advice for them?
What do you mean in order to make sales and become a?
Well, just in general, as far as trying to succeed as a visual artist in today's time.
I think you've got to do what you love doing, um, because then you can be real when you're posting about it and you're posting about the reason why you do it. And you've always, I see a lot of artists, they'll post up, uh, as my new paintings, oil painting, uh, 10 by 8 or whatever. Took me 3 hours and it's $150. And I just think you're doing that wrong. You've got to say why. So why you painted it. And you know that's the key thing really. The main piece of advice that I'd give is paint what you want to do and then explain why you wanted to do it, because that's people will buy into that more than they'll buy into what size it is or what material it is.
Yeah,
And makes a big difference, massive difference.
yeah, definitely. So now that we've been working together for so long at this point, and now that you did this interview, I just do want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to even hop on this call and do this interview with me, because I know things will get pretty busy for you right now. But now that
Yeah,
we're coming to the end here, I do want to just say, I want you to just tell everyone your social media if you want them to check out your art and things like that for those who will probably be interested. So if any
yeah.
platforms you may have, you could go. I want you to go ahead and share them now.
Okay. Yeah. I'm on Facebook at Scott Anthony Artwork, and also on Instagram under the same name, Scott Anthony Artwork. And I also have a store as well, which I've started up on Shopify under the same name, Scott Anthony Artwork. So you can
Yeah.
look at all of those.
And I link your Instagram as well as the Facebook page below the video so people can find you if they do want to check out your work. And yeah, once
Thank
again,
you.
I do want to thank you for taking the time that I have on this call with me. We definitely got to get to that $5,000 per month sooner than later, right?
Yeah, we'll sort that out. We'll sort that later. It's always a pleasure talking to you, Jaroid.
Of course, of course. We definitely gonna be in talk soon.
Yeah.